You've seen it a dozen times, maybe more. You know when to laugh, when to quote it, and somehow it still hits every time.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Whether it's a wild sci-fi blockbuster or a quiet coming-of-age drama, some movies just get stuck with you. You watch them again and again. So the question is, what makes a movie rewatchable? It's more than just being good. Tons of good movies are one-and-done experiences. Today, we're cracking the code behind the movies we can't stop going back to. And I bet you've never thought about it like this before. Hey, I'm Adam, and welcome back to the channel, where we deep dive on the stuff we actually love about movies. Today's topic is one that's close to all of us: rewatchability. Not just great movies, sticky movies. The ones that live rent-free in your head.
Do you really love The Lamp, or are you just saying it because you saw it?
I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
Now here's the kicker. Not all classics are rewatchable. Some are one-and-done experiences. You respect them, you recommend them, but you don't really revisit them. Meanwhile, School of Rock or Guardians of the Galaxy, you're pressing play again and again without even thinking about it. We're breaking this down into 6 key factors, and I'll be sharing my own most rewatched pick towards the end. So let's get into it.
Hey, Doc, are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Let's kick it off with pacing. Maybe the most invisible but important factor. Rewatchable movies move. And I don't just mean they're fast, I mean they have momentum. There's a rhythm. Take Back to the Future. That movie is basically a screenplay writing masterclass. Every scene moves the story forward. No fat, no filler. Even the exposition scenes zip because they're packed with conflict, humor, or urgency. Now compare that to something like The Goldfinch. Beautifully shot, incredible performances, but the pacing is molasses. You watch it once, you appreciate the craft, and you never need to go back. Here's the trick. Rewatchable films feel like they're gliding. Even long movies like The Wolf of Wall Street or Avengers Endgame feel shorter than they are, because the energy is up. It's why Mad Max Fury Road feels like it lasts 30 minutes, even though it's 2 hours of pure chaos. You know what movie has deceptively perfect pacing? Tangled. It moves like a Pixar film, hits emotional beats, and never lingers too long. Now let's talk about vibe, aka I don't care what happens, I just like being here. This is the domain of hangout movies. Films where you're not watching for plot, you're watching for atmosphere. Think The Big Lebowski, Dazed and Confused, or Paddington 2. They all have that feeling of a place you want to live in, even just for 2 hours. Vibe is created by tone, color, soundtrack, dialogue, and pacing, all working together. You could watch Knives Out just for the cozy New England sweaters and Daniel Craig's accent. It's why Ocean's 11 is rewatchable even though you already know the twist. It's cool. You just want to exist in that Vegas glow with the cast. Even non-comfort films can have a vibe. Blade Runner 2049 has a meditative, haunting rhythm that people return to because it's a mood. Same with Her or Lost in Translation. They make you feel something, even when nothing's happening.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. Yep, it's made with bits of real panther.
Quotability is where a movie enters your everyday language. Some films are written so tightly, so cleverly, that lines just stick. Mean Girls, Step Brothers, Shrek, Anchorman. You don't even mean to quote them, they just burst out.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
And quotability fuels rewatchability. It creates anticipation. You're watching, waiting for that line you love. And when it hits, you feel like you're in on the joke.
Rick, where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know.
Even dramatic films get this right. The Godfather.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather.
You quote it. You remember how good that moment felt, and you kind of get to relive it.
Why are you smiling like that?
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
I'll be honest, I can't get through a week without saying something dumb like,
You sit on a throne of lies.
Non-linear, episodic, or vignette-style stories give you easy entry points. You don't have to start from the beginning to enjoy it. Catch Me If You Can, Ferris Bueller, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump. You can drop in at any point, and you're immediately engaged. It's also about how watchable individual scenes are. If a movie has 5 or 6 scenes that are just fun to revisit on their own, you're way more likely to come back. Think about the Avengers and the puny god Hulk smash.
And I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
Or the cafeteria scene from 10 Things I Hate About You. Those moments lure you in, and before you know it, you're 45 minutes into a full rewatch. Rewatchable movies give you emotional ROI. You invest time, and you know you're going to get something back. For some movies, it's a cathartic cry, like Coco or Inside Out. For others, it's pure fist-pumping triumph, like Rocky, Rudy, or Remember the Titans. And here's the crazy part. Knowing the payoff is coming doesn't ruin it. It kind of enhances it. You rewatch The Notebook not because you forgot the ending, but because you want to feel that heartbreak again. It's controlled emotion. Safe emotion. Same with comedies. You rewatch Step Brothers because that payoff of the drum set scene still kills you, even if you can quote it word for word.
Fuck you, Brennan! I know you touched my drum set, and I want to hear that dirty little mouth admit it.
You get out of my face, or I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
You swear on your mom's life that you didn't touch it then.
I don't have to swear to shit!
We attach movies to eras in our lives. Batman and Robin feels like my childhood. The Dark Knight takes me right back to high school. And Batman vs. Superman kind of brings me back to college. Nostalgia adds layers. You rewatch not just for the film, but to revisit a version of yourself. Sometimes the movies weren't even that great, but they were there for you when you needed them. And that makes them priceless.
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
That's why something like Space Jam or Spy Kids might hit harder than an Oscar winner. It's not logic, it's just love.
From the entire Channel 4 News team, I'm Veronica Corningstone.
And I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
The Matrix. Every time I watch it, I find something new. It's tight, it's cool, and it's got quotes for days. The pacing is perfect, and honestly, it still looks amazing. That green tint, the trench coats, the techno philosophy stuff that went over my head as a kid, it all still holds up. But the real reason, I watched it at the perfect age. It hooked me. And now, it lives permanently on my most watched on HBO Max and in my heart. Runner up, Jaws. Because sometimes you just need a perfect movie that reminds you how tension works.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
So let's hear it. What's your rewatch champion? The one movie you can always count on to hit just right. Is it something iconic like Gladiator, a comfort watch like School of Rock, or maybe a guilty pleasure like National Treasure? Drop it in the comments and tell me why you keep coming back. And hey, if you like this deep dive, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more movie breakdowns, and check out my video on why fans still love bad movies. You might realize that even a bad movie can be crazy rewatchable. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.